Fade in.
I need a username. And I have a great one. Little Kid Lover. That way people will know exactly where my priorities are at.
By the way, he gave me permission to touch him.
Fuck.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
How dare you?
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
I love nothing more than to be dragged out at every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can fucking current day us.
Any diverse woman in it, make it gay.
This is the first time that we see a woman, and the first time that we see a black woman in this area and this world.
But Mrs. Kennedy, Bambi's a baby deer.
Fuck baby dear, put a chick in it, make her gay.
And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight and then watch the hair come back up again. If I learned about roaches, I learned about kids jumping on my lap.
No! God!
The power of one! And if you have a problem with that, come fight me. Physically. Bitch.
Has anyone taken
Power of two.
If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace.
The power of many.
You shout like that, they put you in jail right away.
Sexism in gaming.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
No trial, no nothing.
The games industry is diverse naturally. Not because anyone's making them be diverse. Because the world is diverse, you stupid motherfucker.
Fucking pronouns! Fucking gender ambiguity!
You serious?
Journalists, we have a special jail for journalists.
Serious crap!
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come. You keep doing that, no one up here is gonna call you Donald Trump anymore. We're gonna call you Donald Duck.
Weird. Weird.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm.
Oh, you know it, lad. You know that Hassan Piker? I'm coming to kill you in Los Angeles at your house.
Or in the ring.
No, in real life.
Oh man, Oblivion, I gotta ask you, which one are we talking about? Frosk?
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent
Or are we talking about Alyssa?
were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Honestly, I feel like that line I put in there for about 90% of the people that were in that that intro. Hey guys, hey Blithian, how's everybody going? Hopefully you had a wonderful Father's Day with your family. Not sure if you talked to your dads. I haven't talked to mine in about 10 years. That being said, hopefully you guys had a relaxing weekend. I'm just going to cover some of the topics in the news that I haven't had a chance to really cover, and then we'll kind of go from there. You didn't see Frosk? Well, I had Frosk and Mercante kind of mashed up in there a little bit. If my video editing skills were better, I would try to figure out a way to like blend the two into one. Unfortunately, other than like the Photoshop I did for that one picture, you know, video editing is not my forte. I do a lot better with Photoshop. Hey, Geth Infiltrator, not too much. How's your night going? Or day, depending on where you are. I know, I'm in a weird situation over here on the West Coast. Basically, like, I see guys like Hypnotic, or my buddy John Del Rose, or anybody else who live streams either in the morning or in the afternoon. And I'm like, well, shit, I'm over here on the West Coast, so by the time I even go live, pretty much everybody in the United States is either in bed or... I took my time? Yeah, I took my time. I've been busy. I've been a little preoccupied, Mahendra. How you been? But I'm here. That's all that matters. We're gonna cover some of this stuff. Don't want to open the gates of hell. Well, that depends. Will that get us out of this, like, horrifyingly awful timeline that we're on right now? Because, to be fair, I have not been thrilled with the timeline since 2020. I still go back to the fact that my wife and I, hey, 400K, there you go. My wife and I, we were shooting for buying a house in 2020. We were looking at it in 2019 going, all right, guys, this is our year. We can finally afford it. We can get our taxes in order. We can pay off enough of our debt to actually get a loan to get a down payment on a house. Long black coffee. Well, Geth, I hate to tell you, I am a creamy coffee drinker. Hopefully you don't judge me too hard. I like creamy coffee. I do not do black. I've tried so many times I cannot do it. Yeah, 400,000 followers though. You know, I feel bad because I'm on the curator list. Sorry, I follow the curator list, and I'm on the Discord server for Cabrutus. I just never get in there. Like I a while back I had to like leave a whole bunch of Discord servers that I'm never actually like active in, and I feel bad. I'm like, it's not you, it's me. I don't even have time to like worry about properly maintaining my own Discord server or trying to promote it. You know, last Call of Duty I played was Warzone, the one before this most recent one, and only because my buddy was playing it. The guy I played Apex Legends with for a while. I'm not a Call of Duty fan. Like, I enjoyed the time that I played it. It's just not my franchise. Oh, Discord is crazy. Like, I tried to hop into the DEI detected Discord a while back, and I'm like, I can't keep up with this, dude. There's no way. Like, I'd have to quit my full-time job just to be able to like stay in the loop with Discord. So, well, that's the same for me. I'm there. I just don't participate because I don't have enough time to actually like keep up with what anybody's talking about. I mean, kudos to him. I'm so happy for Cabrutus. You know, I was gonna try to find this video that I saw was kind of going viral. Somebody shared it on Twitter. Yeah, exactly. I don't think I got banned. I think I was safe on that one. But this dude who had like no viewers on Twitch, some TikTok personality found him, donated like $450, and then turns out the guy was a voice actor over at like Disney World or something. And, you know, told his followers to go follow this dude on Twitch. He now has like 180,000 followers on Twitch within like a couple of weeks. It's insane. And like, I wanted to find that. I wanted some feel-good stuff to have on here to talk about. Dude, Geth, I know. I actually was playing Elden Ring a little bit last night, the last couple days. Streamed it last week. I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very nervous about the DLC because I'm worried my level 173 samurai is completely jacked, like jacked up beyond recognition. I know I think I was talking to somebody else, wasn't Oblivion, about just respecking my guy, which I might need to do. The Unreal Tournament Discord, because they suddenly demanded you verify with phone number. Oof. Well, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm one of those morons who gave Twitter my ID to verify myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to stay verified. So I'm on a few lists already. What's a few more hurt at this point? It's, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, guys, first off, I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here. Massive support on the last couple of videos. The second to last video, in fact, got like 50,000 views. Absolutely insane. Yeah, I don't know. Call of Duty was actually requiring phone number too, weren't they? I'm pretty sure they were. Oh, phone number on Discord? I don't think so. I mean, you can. I think you can put your phone number on Discord, but I don't recommend it. That's crazy if that's true. Why would Discord require a phone number? What? That's jacked up. No, the thing was, I remember a while back, Call of Duty was talking about trying to get rid of their cheating and hacking problem by requiring actual users to have a phone number attached to their account to verify that they're a real person, which sounds well and good until you realize there's a million ways to verify with a phone number and still have a spam or a bot account. Like to ask about IGN. IGN is scum. I tell you what, I thought they were a cut above Kotaku, at least as far as their reporting, because they just tried to like... IGN has always been a shill site, right? But honest to God, they are just as bad as Kotaku at this point. Yeah, Geth, I agree. It takes me a while to get my brain wrapped around the idea that I have to give that information. And even when I do, I don't do it willingly. Yeah, I didn't realize how long that Black Myth Wukong game has been around, as far as like in development. But again, I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest. The whole Chinese mythology Wukong thing, I was aware of it. Wasn't really my thing. Wasn't there a movie with Jet Li? Like, wasn't it a mummy movie where he plays the Monkey King? I could be crazy. I don't know. Game Science Studio and reported game exists. Dude, I've got to get better about posting the archive versions. The thing is, like every other BS excuse I'm going to dish out for the rest of the time I'm on YouTube and everything else, I don't always have the time to go and archive something first. So if I see it, what I'll tend to do is I might share the link, but I'll screenshot parts of the article that I find relevant so people can read it without actually having to click the link. Oh, they thought it was fake, huh? Yeah, I could have sworn that Jet Li had like a movie where he was like some sort of monkey or whatever. Let me see. Hang on a second. I'm pretty sure it was Jet Li. Wukong. And the third Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser, I never watched it. There was the original one, there was the Scorpion King, which wasn't so good. I didn't watch the one after that. I'm pretty sure the third Mummy movie was with Jet Li, wasn't it? Oh, Forbidden Kingdom with Jackie Chan. This might be it. I don't know. Anyways, let's get on to the news. Let's talk about something else. I'm getting kind of bored with that. So the really funny thing about this Firecracker skin is I don't know if you guys saw that clip from the new season of The Boys. I tried watching The Boys the first season. I got kind of bored with it the first few episodes. I was like, all right, it's fine, it's whatever. Journey to the West, I'll have to take a look at that. Very old movie, like black and white. I mean, I grew up on like old black and white and musicals and stuff, so I might dig that, I don't know. But yeah, so this clip from The Boys has been kind of going around the last few days because they're making fun of like conservatives and right-wingers and stuff. And of course, all the fans are like, well, you're just now realizing that they're making fun of you. And unfortunately, what they don't realize is that most people who are either religious or conservative or right-leaning or even centrists have just kind of made their peace with the fact that 90% of what's in the media, I think, is going to try to offend or shit on right-wingers or conservatives. And you make your peace with it and you go, look, sometimes you can have a movie that back before everything was woke, you know, it would have a message in the movie you didn't agree with, but you could at least be like, all right, you know, that scene was a little cringe, that line was a little on the nose, but overall I still enjoyed the movie. It never used to be so ham-fisted where they were just hammering that message home over and over and over again. Yeah, I never watched Mummy 3. But yeah, apparently now, based on what I saw, they modern audienced the hell out of season 4 of The Boys. Cheesy action movie. I mean, it was all right. The only downside to the Scorpion King movie, first off, I'm not a fan of The Rock. I think The Rock is the most overhyped, overrated, god-awful actor on the planet. Not to mention he's a big old idiot. Absolute moron. But that being said, he's successful for a reason. He's very rich, very famous. I can't fault the guy for his work ethic and for the fact that he has made a ton of movies. I just think he's a terrible actor. But yeah, the computer graphics in the Scorpion King Mummy movie was terrible. I didn't watch the Scorpion King movie though. I didn't watch Mummy 3. Oh, for sure, IGN's totally becoming Kotaku 2.0. Let me see here. So yeah, now what you have is apparently it's not just The Boys season 4 that's getting modernized for a more sensible, progressive audience. Apparently, there's a skin in Call of Duty that has censored the assets on Firecracker, who's like the crazy right-wing conspiracy theorist character. First off, I don't understand why they'd even make this character a skin if she's supposed to be like the ass of the joke. No pun intended. I've never liked The Rock's movies, but that's just me personally. I know most people think he's awesome and it's all, oh, can you smell what I'm cooking and all his stuff from when he was a wrestler, but I don't know. The Rock plays himself in every movie. Exactly, that's my issue with him. That's 1000% my issue with The Rock. He cannot act because he's just playing himself. All right, so from bounding into comics, it says, following its initial release, a Call of Duty skin based on the appearance of the boys' newly introduced super antagonist, Firecracker, has apparently had its rear assets significantly reduced by Activision Blizzard. Honest to God, Activision might be the most horrible of the video game companies. There's some that suck, but Activision is really up there with like some of the worst. Well, again, Mahendra, the thing is, people are like, well, The Boys was always progressive and always making fun of right-wingers, you know, because they made Homelander was like an allegory for Trump. And it's like, you know, it's the same people who don't realize if you try to make everything fascist and call yourself anti-fascist, you eventually become the fascist boogeyman that you're chasing. So it says, a wholly original to the TV series character introduced in the first episode of The Boys' 4th season and played by Detroit Becoming Human actress Valerie Curry. I didn't know she did that. Firecracker is one of the new soups alongside Sister Sage to have been recently added to the Sevens roster. Possessing super strength, the ability to generate explosive sparks from her hands, a la Marvel's Jubilee, and one hell of a grudge against her former child beauty pageant rival Starlight, Firecracker is portrayed as a social media hotshot whose genuinely racist and conspiratorial ways of thinking have led her to become an instant hit among the show's interpretation of the American right wing. Yeah, again, a little too hard on the nose there. You know, Mahendra, I am not a fan of Game of Thrones. I've tried watching it off and on. I just, for whatever reason, it might have been the gratuitous nudity, or I don't know what it was. Like, I've seen enough naked people for my lifetime. I don't need a show where it's like every excuse to have people having sex and hooking up and getting naked. I don't know. Just watch porn at that point. Let me see. From episode 1 of The Boys was very extreme left, internet hot takey. Well, I'm not saying, that's the thing is, I think most people who are left-leaning don't realize it's not that right-wingers don't understand that most of Hollywood is left-leaning or that the message is going to veer left. It's that it didn't used to completely like pummel you over the head. You know, that was the thing. In promotion of The Boys' then upcoming return to the airwaves, January 2024 saw both Firecracker and her fellow, the 7-teammate A-Team, join Homelander, Black Noir, and Starlight as purchasable characters for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Upon her initial addition to the game, Firecracker's character model possessed a noticeable curvy rear end, so much so that, as documented by Dexerto, it prompted a mini thirst wave among fans that lasted until she was rotated out of the in-game stores. You know why? You know what this whole thing comes down to? The show wants her to be the bad guy that they can make fun of, and the game, they sexualized her, and they didn't like the fan response. I guarantee, look at what the, who is it, Eric Kripke, has come out saying he doesn't understand why fans of The Boys are obsessed with Homelander, because just like Alan Moore with Watchmen, when he was freaking out about why fans actually liked Rorschach, Eric Kripke's got the same problem. He's like, I want you to hate Homelander. He's Trump. I don't want you to like him. I don't want you to sympathize with him. So here they give you a character that they want you to absolutely despise, and everybody's like geeking out over her bottom, you know? But Twitter always complains about anime shows, some fan service, which was not as worse as Game of Thrones. Honestly, the funniest part about Game of Thrones is it kind of reminds me of Jurassic Park back in the 90s. Because when the Jurassic Park books were coming out, I mean, there was the one book, and then they had the movie, and the movie and the book were nothing alike. And then you had the second movie, which came out before the second book, and basically what happened was they killed off Malcolm, you know, Jeff Goldblum in the first book, but they kept him alive at the end of the movie. So then they have the second movie where, okay, Malcolm's the main character, and then all of a sudden Michael Crichton's like, well, now shit, I got to figure out how to write a second book where I bring this character back from the dead. I hate when they do that. I hate when we have books and TV shows and movies that conflict, because at some point, it's like, I'm okay with adaptations where Lord of the Rings or not The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, where certain details have to change or get, you know, edited for, you know, cutting down some time, because you can't have like a 12-hour movie. Nobody's going to watch that. But at the same time, it's like the book and the movie need to at least coexist peaceably. Otherwise, who the hell wants to watch it? Oh, Jurassic Park was a fantastic movie. Absolutely. Dark Knight's Bane or the Mirror Guy from The Witcher 3. Yeah, no, there are so many ways to do it right, and unfortunately, we see way too many examples of them doing it the wrong way. Okay, it says, now rather than having a well-defined behind, this area of Firecracker's model is practically non-existent, the soup now looking less like herself and more like King of the Hill's own Hank Hill. God. Hank Hill comparison. No. Okay, so here's what happened. I can explain everything about this. Hang on. Let's pull up this tweet here. Here's what happened, okay? It's not that she got the Hank Hill treatment. See, they got the Hank Hill meme down here. It's not the Hank Hill treatment. What she got was the Taylor Swift treatment. They decided she needed to look more like Taylor Swift and less like, I don't know, Beyonce or something. Yeah, that is a noticeable deflation. Holy crap. But yeah, she looks like Taylor Swift now. That's what we got going on. So all the Swifties should be happy. Let's see. Notably, this decision to subject Firecracker to a backside reduction is but the latest display of Activision Blizzard's lack of integrity regarding the Call of Duty franchise's DLC. Dude, Activision Blizzard, I'm sorry, who did Spencer write this for Bounding into Comics? I think it was Spencer. Yeah, Spencer Bakuli. Sorry, Spencer. You're giving them way too much credit. Activision Blizzard has no integrity. Forget lack of integrity. They have negative integrity. The Starlight as typical woman victim post-2020. Hang on, chat's moving. Woman victim against patriarchy, woman powers focus post-2020. Okay, so from what I saw from the first, 2 episodes of the first season of The Boys. So the first episode, the main character's girlfriend gets killed by A-Train. And then the second episode, they bring in Starlight and she gets taken advantage of by A-Train, right? No, by the Aquaman kind of character, right? Like they straight off the bat make her a victim of assault. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was the second episode. Taylor Swift is beyond overrated, okay? Overrated. I say this about Taylor Swift. I think her music is catchy, but stupid. I think the lyrics are terrible. I think her voice is bland. I think her dancing is atrocious, and she's not even that good looking. But what they have done with Taylor Swift, absolutely incredible marketing. You can hate her and her music all you want to, but the marketing that they have done to package Taylor Swift as a brand is incredible. There's no question that she's probably the most successful marketing campaign ever to exist. Episode 2? Okay. Yeah, I think I stopped after episode 2 or 3. Western music industry is based on controversy? Well, yeah. There's a lot of dirt and scum and villainy in the current music industry. I guess going back decades now. I didn't see that. I'm not sure about that one by Finney on YouTube. I don't know about that one. I'll have to take a look at some point. Although, again, Taylor Swift not high on my list of people I want to find out anything more about. So yeah, another woman has had her ass removed. Maybe she's transitioning. I don't know. I can't say that. I'm sorry. And of course, now we've got Nintendo of America. Guys, Nintendo is screwed. I'm starting to doubt that Japan is going to be able to hold this back. I know Nintendo of America and Nintendo, the company, are two separate entities of sorts, but this is getting like out of hand. She should have retired. I wish she would have. Oshi no Ko anime opening song beat everyone in Billboard top charts. Not flattering? Yeah, not flattering at all. All right, so article here from That Park Place from John Trent says Nintendo of America manager James Wong describes gamers opposed to wokeness as angry bigots previously encouraged racism against white people. See, these are the articles that I like to cover on the live streams because nobody really cares about this stuff in video format, I've noticed. When I've done videos talking about Nintendo, wokeness, Mario, the transgender character, little ghost character, I can't even remember they them's name. Nobody seems to care about that in a video. It's like it doesn't get any clicks, which is sad because Nintendo is like that's my jam right there. I grew up with the original Nintendo. Before that, we had a Atari, but you know, Nintendo unfortunately doesn't generate the clicks that companies like Activision Blizzard do, or topics like Helldivers, or, you know, freaking Warhammer. Okay, so it says, James Wong, Content Production Systems Manager at Nintendo of America, declared gamers who rightfully oppose wokeness in video games as angry bigots. You know, here's the thing. Eventually, the words don't have any meaning. And I remember I've listened to a lot of people talk about this in terms of calling everything woke, or everything communist, or everything, you know, X, Y, or Z. It's the same thing that people on the far extreme other side of the spectrum do when they call everything fascist, or everything right-wing, or extreme right-wing, whatever. You know, when you label everything with the same brushstroke, it's like eventually the words cease to have any meaning. Nintendo Switch doesn't sell in Turkey, South Asia, countries like India, Russia, and Indonesia. Yeah, no, honestly, the Nintendo audience does not watch gaming news. Nintendo audience is faithful to watching the Nintendo Directs. The Nintendo audience, here's the thing. I think it's a good sign that the Nintendo audience doesn't go for drama, that they don't go for gossip, they don't go for rumors. They want news. The Nintendo audience wants to know, what's the release date on this game? When's the DLC coming out? When's the patch going to fix this? And when's the next game coming out? The Nintendo audience is very faithful, but I don't know if they're as much into the how the sausage is made, if you will. You know, honestly, I have not watched Attack on Titan. Of all the anime that I kind of think I should try watching, because I'm not an anime guy, I mean, I just haven't taken the time to watch much. Attack on Titan looks interesting. Yeah, Blithian, and it's like, look, I call plenty of stuff woke or Marxist. In fact, whole separate tangent, guys. I've had several people now in comments in some of the videos, particularly the last one that I uploaded last night, talking about, oh, I agreed with everything you said until you called it Marxist or communist. I'm like, okay. It's a fair point that you cannot label everybody in this country who's a feminist or a radical ideologue when it comes to like Pride Month kind of stuff or whatever. They may not all be politically communist. That's a fair point. You can make that argument. But unfortunately, things like extreme feminism, where you eradicate the patriarchy, family structure, women are the same as men, there's no difference between the genders, and that's where you get into more of like the gender ideology stuff. That is all rooted in Marxism. If you boil it all down, the idea of removing the differences between what makes men and women different and makes them both great in different ways, and takes away the onus on the family to raise their kids and gives the government the power to raise them. Well, the same thing happens if you're a businesswoman in your 40s and you've never gotten married or had kids. Essentially, if you did have kids, well, who would raise them? The state would have to raise them. Somebody that's being paid to teach your kids and watch them in daycare, you know? So I don't know. I think too many people want to stay away from the political aspects of it, which is fair. I don't think everything needs to be political. In fact, very much the opposite. But I think you do have to recognize that whether you like it or not, a lot of these woke ideologies, the BLM movement, again, feminism, the extreme man-hating, the hating straight white male gamers, it all comes from the same place. And it's more of a neo-Marxist mentality. And I get that it's not going to resonate with everybody, especially people who are tired of hearing right-wing grifters and stuff saying like, oh, we got to get them dang communists, you know? Yeah. But yes, absolutely they do. The terms do get overused on both ends of the spectrum. Chud, chode, soy, cuck. All the terms get overused, although there are many situations where they very, very aptly apply. Let's see. So what was your analogy? Let's see. There's a king in the Attack on Titan anime where he abused his slave. It doesn't matter how much he abused his slave. Slave loves his king. That's how Nintendo is. Nintendo hates the community and the community loves them. Yeah. You know, honestly, although I would say the Call of Duty fan base is kind of the same way. Honestly, Sony fans, PlayStation fans, and this is not me digging on PlayStation fans because I used to be an Xbox, you know, fanboy and I've always had Nintendos. I don't care about the console war at this point. Play whatever console you want to play whatever game suits your fancy. I'm cool with that. But Sony fans recently are, what I've noticed is with a lot of this stuff about Stellar Blade and any of the games that are coming to cons or to PC from PlayStation, there's like this actual vitriol from Sony fans where they hate PC gamers with a passion. And it's like, what the hell is your problem, dude? We're just trying to play video games here. I think console people, especially in Japan, got kicked out from the Sony camp when they moved their central, to the US. So they bet on Nintendo now and are kind of intentionally oblivious to the big picture. That could be very, very, very true about what's going on with Nintendo, especially like we were talking about in the types of content that gets views about Nintendo. Yeah, and console marketing is declining in Japan. The thing is, here's the craziest shit. So, on one hand, I'm going to tell you that Game Pass is ruining Xbox sales. Game Pass and subscription services like Netflix are ruining the movie theater experience. Disney Plus is ruining Disney's good movies that they have. Although Inside Out 2 is doing well. So, go figure. But at the same time, years ago, I told my buddies, I'm like, oh yeah, dude, the Game Pass is going to replace Xbox consoles. And they told me I was insane. They were like, oh, Xbox is never going to stop selling consoles. I'm like, look, Xbox hasn't made money on their consoles in how many years? Like, are they making money on the new ones? I don't know. But the first two systems they made, they lost money on. So why the hell, when everybody's got PCs now and they have Game Pass on PC, why would Xbox bother pursuing consoles? Especially when everybody's trying to switch to PC anyways. So, I mean, my friends told me I was nuts, and I'm like, no, I don't think so. Most of Japanese gamers prefer PC. Depends on the quality. Well, yeah. Quality of the movie is a big factor. There are some movies that are always going to be better in a theater experience, theater setting. And that's just a fact. I mean, there are movies that I've only seen in theater and never watched at home. I mean, prime example was midnight showing of Revenge of the Sith back in... Oh, crap, mid-2000s that movie came out, I guess, early 2000s. I haven't watched it since. I got done watching that, I'm like, okay, the trilogy's done. It all sucked. I hated all of it. Where you can play old games in a monthly subscription. Well, I mean, there's a lot of old games on Game Pass, but the thing about Game Pass that I've noticed is that a lot of times, sure, you'll get your day one game, and sometimes they're all right. A lot of times they fill the service full of crappy games, not like good old games, but crappy old games that nobody wants to play. So it's like some game you've never heard about that came out 12 years ago, but hey, you can play it for free, with your service. That's cool. So it says Wong's comments came in the wake of ex-user Esco Cochise, I think that's how you pronounce that, questioning the current crop of video games, asking, if it ain't DEI and corporate BS, why do modern games suck complete cheeks compared to the past? Are you defending the state of the industry? Oh, Airbagged responded. Kate Bush's husband. Dude, Kate Bush's husband, this Airbagged account, this is the one that has been using Smash JT, using his real name, like his full name, in every time he tweets about him. Also, this dude's some pink-haired Antifa complete psychopath. So, doesn't surprise me one bit. User Airbag responded, writing, 2024 is effing stacked with amazing games. Okay. I can think of 3. And Dawn Trail isn't out yet. What the hell's Dawn Trail? Oh, and Shadow of the Erdtree isn't out yet. Oh, and Astrobot. What the hell's Astrobot? What? These are games I've never even heard of before. By the way, if we all recall, Elden Ring, IGN is the one I think that attacked Elden Ring when it first came out for not having enough diverse hairstyles. If I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it was IGN. Because there wasn't enough hairstyles for minority people, which is absolutely bonkers. And I get it. I feel bad for people who are like, on one hand, I can understand needing to feel like, okay, well, I want to make my character look like, whatever, and not having that option. But all games are like that. Every game has limitations. This entire idea that you can make a game where it has to have every available type of hairstyle possible to make everybody happy, it's stupid. It's completely unrealistic. Consoles aren't much of consoles anymore. You need internet. You have to install things. They're absurdly expensive. Few local multiplayer games. Yeah, no, the whole idea of consoles, again, you might as well replace it with a PC at this point. I was looking at Costco, and although I've never tried a gaming laptop, I don't have much love for laptops. I kind of hate laptops because of like battery life and stuff. They have a HP gaming laptop on clearance at Costco right now for like $900 with a better graphics card than my computer has, as much RAM as it has. It has a 1 terabyte SSD in it. Of course, not as much memory as my computer, but you know, $900. It's like, you really can't beat that price. Astrobot is Sony's main workhorse title as of like now. I think it was a game that just got made as a tech demo. Huh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'd never even heard of that one. Same villain from the first game. Which game we're talking about? Oh, Avatar 2 story. Yeah, I didn't watch the second Avatar movie. I remember really liking the first movie. My wife and I watched it. She was really into it. Really long movie. But why didn't we watch Avatar 2? I guess, holy shit, Avatar 2 just, yeah, it just recently came out, didn't it? Yeah, how many years between those first two movies? Like 12 years? Oh my god, yeah, it must have been like 12 years ago. Because yeah, Aiden, yeah, wow. Hey, Alequiz, guten Morgen. That's right, you're in Germany. You can't upgrade GPU or CPU in laptops 100%. That's one of my biggest beefs with them, yeah. Yeah, and you know, the convenience of being able to take it with you, I get it. Look, I mean, my brother, he's military, and the ironic thing is he built his own computer back in the day. Like, I'm talking, I was probably 19 or 20, and he built his computer, so this was going on like almost 2 decades ago. And recently, because he's military now, recently, like, he came over to my house, and he's like, oh, you still have a desktop, why don't you use a laptop? I'm like, because I built this freaking thing from scratch, and it beats the pants off of any laptop I could have spent the same money on. And if anything breaks, I can replace it, and if I want to upgrade it, I can. You know, it's like, whatever. Avatar is a real-life adaptation of Ferngully. Yeah, don't remind me of that. Ferngully, that's going to bring me back, like, terrible memories. I hated that movie. I don't remember, like, why I hated it, but I absolutely hated that movie. Avatar 1 came out in 2009. Dang! It's been a while. Yeah, no, that was, 4 years before my first kid was born. So we watched it, I think, when she was pregnant. Yeah, I didn't watch it when it first came out. It took a while to get around to it. And you know, Avatar was fine. The movie was fine. It was like, whatever. So Wong responded to this comment, Wong, the guy from Nintendo of America, saying, it feels like all these angry bigots were better people before their con idols gave them the terms that they should get mad about when those terms are concepts that have been around forever. He then added, you mean this thing I like from 2000 is woke? Quote, always has been. This is what I was talking about, guys. This is exactly what I was talking about. It's one thing when anybody who has an issue with it can look at, I can remember a half dozen movies where there was a, whether it was a pro-LGBT message or an anti-religious message. I mean, hell, half the classic rock songs out there, if you go back to like Crazy Train, okay, we all love Crazy Train, and it's like talking about, you know, I listen to preachers and fools, and basically it's anti-religious if you get down to it. But you can still enjoy the song if you really want to. But the thing of it is, it doesn't mean that the song was woke. People accepted it as, well, there's this little message in there, and if you can get around that and enjoy the song or enjoy the movie or play the game, it's fine. It wasn't the entire point. You know, there's a huge difference. Like dog whistling of the American native history or whatever, I'm not American. Yeah, a little. So in Avatar, the aliens are the natives. The scientists are the evil colonizers who come to their planet to mine resources. And of course, when the natives fight back, the scientifically advanced colonizers are killing them off. You don't like lyric-based songs? I mean, technically all you need for a song is, you know, a rhythm and a beat and instruments, but I prefer the lyrics, I don't know. Predominant, as you say, yeah. Creed. Yeah. I'll never not be a fan of Creed. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Not as bad as admitting that you like Nickelback, although Nickelback's first 3 albums were all good. I'm never gonna not say that. I don't get my wisdom from song lyrics. Exactly. So, unsurprisingly, Wong is an adherent of identity politics and attempts to weaponize language to push the ideology. Back in December 2020, he wrote, "Am I the only one who's had a problem with the term PC master race?" Oh my god! He's one of these people. What is his job at Nintendo? What does he do? Content Production Systems Manager. Somebody needs to Google that and find out what the hell that actually means. What is a Content Production System Manager? What do they do? Because here he is saying that the PC Master Race term is something a white person would say to make others feel inferior. He continued, much in the same way the computer terms master and slave don't live completely rent-free in my head. I know, weird. Yeah, pretty freaking weird, dude. Like, having a master drive and a slave drive does not mean an actual slave. He, in a follow-up, he added, it's more of a something-something socioeconomic superiority complex thing going on, a flex on having more money and accessibility than others, than implying that others won't, can't, or shouldn't. What is this dude on? Like, holy shit. I don't know how much more of this I want to bother going through. This guy's a lunatic. Liking Creed is not a bad thing, but there is... Creed is more of a meme than anything else for a lot of people. It's not like how everybody hates Nickelback. There's still a large percentage of people who are totally fine with Creed. Creed, I think the problem was Scott Stapp kind of went insane for a while, and he had to be institutionalized, if I do recall. So there was just a lot of drama with the band, with Scott. Actually, at one point, Scott Stapp thought that that they were like, I think, black helicopters after him, like the silent helicopters. I'm pretty sure he was having like paranoid schizophrenic breakdown or something. Assassin's Creed is the only Creed you know. I don't know, Mahendra, if you Google some of Creed's music, you might recognize, even just from pop culture reference. Let's all join hands and hate Nickelback. Nickelback, like I said, if you go back to their first couple albums, Silver Side Up and Long Road were a couple decent albums. Those were before they turned into the acid wash jeans, Chad Kroeger, you know, singing about wanting to be a rock star and Photograph and all that. Nickelback had some legit decent music before then. Let's see. Yeah, this guy's just a nut job. All right, so you want to talk about Assassin's Creed? This is some weird shit that happened, and I'm so glad that I didn't try to cover this last night, because I was starting to notice the pieces of this, and I'm like, something's not adding up. You only watch anime and play video games? Hey, nothing wrong with that. I don't watch TV, so the most TV I watch in the course of my day is when my wife and I go to bed, we put something on Hulu, like a rerun of a TV show, and that's the most TV I watch. Unless her and I make the intent that we're going to sit down and watch a show, whether it's for, you know, covering it on the channels or just so we're aware of what's going on in the world, I just don't sit and watch TV shows. I just don't. Yeah, exactly. Or just watch a good movie from the early 2000s. Yeah, 100%. That's the way to do it. So, I don't know if you guys saw this. I don't know how many of you guys are on Twitter. This account came out... what, June 16th? So this would have been yesterday. Saying, the official Assassin's Creed X page blocked me for speaking the truth. Now let's just go full screen. Hang on, guys. It's probably gonna have all my alerts pop up. Oh yeah, all of them all at once. Where the hell's my webcam? There we go. All right. People obsess over association of words not even in the context itself, made plain when they do the core issues just another context, like being bigoted. Yeah. Well, I'm at this point now where if I say something on Twitter or whatever, and I get called a bigot or a racist, I'm just like, okay, so what? You know, if that's going to be your opinion, I'm not going to confirm for you that, yes, I'm a racist. I'm going to say, okay, you know, if that's what you feel, then that's how you feel. I'm not going to try to change your mind. Whatever. All the metal rock bands, you get an album which blows up and they sell out and play safe and reflects and stifled art. Dude, Maroon 5. I know not technically rock, but if you go back to Maroon 5 before Adam Levine was a celebrity and listen to their first couple albums, their music is nothing. Not even close to the way that they started. Assassin's Creed. Yeah. So anyways, we had this account, and again, it looked fishy. Something weird was going on, right? Kenji Yamamoto. Username Samurai Kenjiya. Okay? The Istophobe Defense. Yeah, exactly. Says, the official Assassin's Creed X page blocked me for speaking the truth. All I've been saying is that Yasuke was not a samurai. There's nothing written anywhere that says he definitively was a samurai, and they know that, so they blocked me for continuing to prove it. Now, here's where it got really weird, okay? I don't know if anybody else has the screenshots of it, but this guy claimed to be a historian from the University of Tokyo, all right? And so, of course, here's the thing. If I'm going to share something on Twitter, I tend to research it a little bit. I've even had Grums. I'm positive he's seen things that I've tagged him in and he doesn't give me credit for it. Okay, it's fine, guys. I don't hold grudges about that kind of stuff because it's like he doesn't have to give me credit for finding something if he doesn't steal my tweet. That's whatever. That I have no issue with. But, you know, Grums has shared things that I've seen, and so has Manga Lawyer and other people. And it's like, okay, so we're all kind of in this together. We're going to kind of fact check and verify and share the stories that are out there. This one, nobody did much fact checking. And of course, Grums ran with it. I saw Smash JT, he had retweeted it and then he deleted it. I was kind of like, this seems kind of odd, right? Seems kind of weird. Hypnotic retweeted it, talking about, you know, the Stop Asian Hate stuff, which is kind of funny. Nobody really cares about lyrics, not even the musicians. Talked to a former band member from my youth days and said our lyrics would be controversial today. He asked which lyrics. Yeah. Well, it's really funny. I care about lyrics. I guess I'm like the only one. That's sad. So this got shared around, and then after a while, the SJW crowd, the Alyssa Mercante shills, the ones running cover for IGN and Kotaku, the ones who are the anti-Gamergate crowd, John Phipps, and all the rest of these complete lunatics. God, if you wanna go down like a rabbit hole of some insane people, that airbagged account on Twitter, that Kate Bush's husband, and John Phipps, those two are complete nut jobs, okay? Absolutely insane. So they're the ones who were like investigating this more than these other guys should have done, and it turns out this guy's a complete fraud, complete phony. So Grums tweeted a little bit earlier today, said, this has been making the rounds. An Asian studies major claims to have been blocked by Assassin's Creed. After looking at his feed, people had doubts, including me. So here's what I'll do. If Samurai Kenjiya reaches out, I'm happy to do a verification with him in private about his role at the University of Tokyo. And so, of course, you can see these tweets right here where he claims that he has a master's in Asian studies, focus on Japanese history, a specialty distinction in Sengoku and Edo periods, University of Tokyo, Tobai, Bunkyo, Tokyo, Japan. So the thing about it is, it was pointed out that this guy has been tweeting about like the American presidential race for like the last year and a half. Obviously not somebody who's spending much time at a university in Tokyo. So Grum says he reached out, I asked for proof, and he said it wasn't that important, so into the trash it goes. Faker. So this guy has now protected his account, this is just embarrassingly bad. Because unfortunately you had a lot of people. We've been making a lot of progress, a lot of headwinds, getting through a lot of this stuff. The whole Wukong thing where supposedly we've had this Sweet Baby Inc. trying to, bully Wukong to give him $7 million for, cleaning up their image, and all these articles from IGN and Kotaku attacking them and PC Gamer and stuff. And now you have these guys come out of the woodworks, basically making everybody that runs with this look like clowns. It's bad. I hate this. Who knows what this guy's intent was? I don't know if he was trying to help. I don't know if he was trying to hurt certain people like Grums or anybody else who retweeted it or Hypnotic, but it just sucks. Unfortunately, nobody verified it, and this guy has kind of like, he's put a black eye on a few people, unfortunately. There's a manga which is based on Yasuke's granddaughter. I know I saw that there's a couple anime, aren't there, that have Yasuke? Seeing different languages which are not Japanese and English. Oh yeah, Nier Automata. I need to play that game. But the ironic thing is, Hypnotic pointed out that Nick Calandra, the dude from Second Wind, all right, Second Wind, the dude who basically was investigating Grums, trying to expose him, and then fell for that story from that Gigabear account, who basically made a complete ass out of Nick Calandra. He fed him information, and Nick kept running with it, typing up his story like, oh, this is so good, I'm gonna expose Grums, and then had the rug pulled out from under him, okay? Now you got Nick coming out here saying, y'all, I don't think the people farming outrage every day do a good job of verifying the information that they come across before posting it. Just a hunch I have. But you know, they'll just delete it and not issue an actual retraction. So Nick is criticizing a few people like Smash JT, Learning the Law, manga lawyer, Grums, of course, for not verifying this person's identity when Nick Calandra got made a complete ass out of over the fact that he himself did not verify Gigabear's story. He ran with information that was half-truths. He basically got fed a bunch of BS, and he thought he had like this Pulitzer Prize, award-winning piece that he was going to write up on Grums. Just an elaborate troll? Maybe. I don't know. How are you doing, Vertigo? Who knows what the entire purpose was? I wish I could figure it out. I wish I knew. What's worse than putting a POC character in Japan setting is actually getting their culture wrong, like the Torigate. That for me personally, I think that was a much bigger issue. When like I said, it took me 5 minutes of Googling because I saw that video where the guy was talking about it. I'm like, okay. So I Google it, and you look on this website about Japanese structures, and you go, okay, well, Torigate indicates where a Shinto shrine is. By the Shinto shrine, there should be these, I can't remember what the name was, the Shikazawa or whatever they are, that are these elaborate, ornate, like braided ropes that you tie around the tree. These are all very easy, common sense thing. If you're going to hire somebody as a sensitivity reader or as a cultural expert, hire a Japanese person who knows about Japanese architecture and Japanese culture and Japanese customs. You don't go hire somebody who's African American living in Canada who speaks French but doesn't know a damn thing about Japan. You know? He's wearing a cap just like me, always wearing a black cap while streaming. Oh, actually, the thing about that is I've got like 3 or 4 of my caps that I really like. This is just like my go-to one. It's the comfiest one. But I try to alternate during the course of the day. Like I said, I always have a hat on. It's part of why I'm going bald, unfortunately. You thought it was my profile? Oh, that's funny. And the thing is, a lot of people have pointed out with the whole Yasuke thing, it's not that they had him in the game. It's that every other game that has existed in Assassin's Creed's franchise, you play a fictional character and then you interact with historical figures. So why not have Yasuke in there as a historical figure that you interact with? They decided this is our chance to shoehorn in this character that we've been wanting to use and haven't had the ability to. That's the entire purpose. It's not about authenticity. It's not about historical accuracy. It's not about anything beyond the fact that they wanted to shoehorn that character in as the main character. Ah, crap. Apparently it's been longer than half an hour. That's what she said. There we go. Oh, damn camera. I just need to get one of those Bluetooth remotes for it so I can just kind of like tell it to focus every 10 minutes or so. Yeah, so that's it. So Hypnotic pointed out, he's like, says the guy baited by a fake account to write a hit piece on Grums that he immediately ran with without verifying anything. You make fun of people for falling for fake information, yet you literally did the same exact thing and got paid for it. It doesn't matter if you deleted it. According to your logic and those who follow you, people are simply not allowed to make mistakes or anything of the sort. That's it, 1000%. Nick came out and said, oh, I'm not going to talk to this person anymore. I've already blocked them. I'm not going to talk about this. I got fed a bunch of bad information, so I'm putting this on hold. Okay, that's enough of a retraction, I guess, since you consider yourself a journalist. But he never admitted, yeah, I'm an ass. I got duped. I didn't verify it. That's on me, guys. My bad. Whatever. The hip-hop music made you facepalm. That was pretty cringe. Of all the possible things that they could have done, I mean, honest to God, what were they thinking? Okay, Japanese game, fight scene, intense music. Dude, I am not an expert on Japan or Japanese music, but there are so many amazing instruments that they could do like really dynamic fight, like combat music with, if they really wanted to be like authentic. But instead, you go, let's drop a sick beat. You know, let's get crunk. Let's get lit in here. I can't even believe it. Like Chris Redfield, who's a white guy shooting African zombies in South Africa. Okay, so the thing about that is he's not they're not shooting black people, they're shooting zombies. I know technically they are black-skinned zombies, but it's not the same thing as white man goes to Africa, kills a bunch of Africans. He's not killing Africans, he's killing zombies. That's the difference right there. You know, the whole thing about zombies is that they just inhabit whoever they inhabit, or you get the virus and the virus inhabits you, essentially reanimates you or whatever, depending on which version of zombies we're talking about. So I was going to cover a little bit about this stuff about the Acolyte, but I don't know if we're going to have enough time. Honestly, like, it's been a long, really long day. My kid is trying to get sick, and I'm trying to not be up super late. Well, I'm not going to get to this Doctor Who story, I don't think. Let's talk a little bit about the Acolyte, I guess, since we have to. Is your stereotype a lot? Yeah, well, the funny thing is, much like we talked about how the terms woke, Marxist, right-winger, MAGA, Trumper, soy, cuck, what all these terms, right, get a little overused to the point where they have no meaning anymore. Anti-racists tend to be some of the most racist people on the planet. Let's see. Recently finished Ghost of Tsushima story. I think it's pretty much a must for every gaming person at this point. I'm going to pick it up at some point. The thing is, I've already spent the $40. I'm going to be playing Elden Ring DLC on Thursday. So we're doing a live stream on Thursday. Crap, I wish my kids weren't sick. Well, one of my kids is sick. Because I would love to get my kids over to my in-laws at some point during the week, so maybe I could stream starting at like, 6, 7 o'clock my time, not have to wait so late in the day. But I cannot stream with them here, like when they're awake. That'd be hell. You guys, your poor ears, who watches Star Wars. Apparently not very many people, according to the viewer numbers. But yeah, I wanted to pick up Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know, I was waiting for it to get a little bit cheaper. I don't like to spend full price on games, just general principle. I just feel like it's not something I'm cool doing. The funny thing is Elden Ring is the one game in the last few years that I actually spent full price on. And then I spent full price on the DLC, so. Elden Ring. Hang on a second. That was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. No, of course family comes first. It's more about the fact that my kids have been asking for a sleepover. My in-laws have been wanting to have them have a sleepover. My in-laws are just in a situation where it's not always easy for them because they're not retired per se, but they don't work a whole lot. So when they do work, they need to make sure that they have the time. It's a tough, weird situation. They even managed to put that kid without a father stereotype in somehow, so progressive. Yeah, no, it's not just that. It's like, not only is there no father, but they are lesbian space witches with the power of one, power of two, power of many, entirely female coven of diverse women. You guys, did you ever watch The Office enough to get to I think the last season with Michael Scott before Steve Carell left the show? He did the Savannah, Georgia, what was it, a role-playing game they did in The Office, where he gives everybody a role and they all have to be like, I'm the witch doctor or whatever. Yeah. As a gamer, yeah, life for me, I get the little bit of time in the evening I get after they're all in bed. And so most nights it's either do I cover a couple of topics and try to get a video out on each channel, or do I sit for an hour and play a video game, if that. Well, the funny thing about that is I stopped for a while. So my gaming years, I played as often as I could, which wasn't much because even as a teenager, I was working like hell. I'm talking hellacious 12, 13, sometimes 14-hour days. Absolutely bonkers hours, right? You work with your family, you don't get paid much, it is what it is. Well, then, after I was in my own house, when my brother and we've got our own place, that turned into, okay, well now we still work like crazy hours, but at least when I'm home, I can do whatever the hell I want. So I was able to play video games in the wee hours of the morning if I really wanted to stay up. Then after I got married, I'd been playing Guild Wars for like a couple of years. Guild Wars, I played probably 2,000 hours a year on that game alone. And after I got married, I just stopped playing video games pretty much entirely. What really got me back into playing games was after we had our first kid, like in the evenings, because I couldn't physically get to the gym as often because that was after I hurt my back, so I wasn't going like every freaking night for an hour and a half a night. I'd put on like Assassin's Creed or something, play down in the living room. And it used to be I didn't like playing video games in front of my wife because, it's a guy thing. It's like, it's my nerd time. I don't want to sit here and have to explain what's going on. But my wife actually really look, I'm reading chat and trying to talk. My wife really enjoyed the story for Assassin's Creed. Like, we still talk about it like, oh yeah, that was that game you were playing. Oh yeah, I really liked the characters. I'm like, yeah, it was Ezio Auditore and Firenze and the Medicis and stuff. It was a great couple of games between Assassin's Creed 1 through Brotherhood, Guild Wars was a great time. Guild Wars now, as far as games go, the original, the game is dead. I was actually able to recover my account because I spent years without playing it. And then I was like, I kind of want to log in and see what's going on there. And I went ahead and logged in. Well, tried to log in, and then apparently they had locked my account because they said there was suspicious activity. I'm like, I haven't been on the game for like 10 years. How is there suspicious activity? Like playing GTA 5, loading screen, you can't play GTA 5. So yeah, I got them to unlock my account. I got my serial numbers put back in because I still have them on disk. I got my games installed. And now it's like, okay, it's currently installed on my PC. I don't play it. I don't touch it. The game is so old. The servers are all dead. Nobody's on. Like, it used to be during the holiday events on Guild Wars, there'd be like 7 North American servers, European servers. Every one of them would have like hundreds of people in each of the major cities across all 3 maps from all 3 games, plus the DLC. Guild Wars was a fantastic game when I was playing it. But unfortunately now it's like, there are so many other games to play, guys. Here's the funniest thing. My wife is like, why are you complaining about this? My kids are like, my lack of playing was suspicious, exactly. My kids don't understand, but I keep getting these emails from these places that send you game keys, right? Like Steam keys or whatever for different games that we want to try out. So I've taken 3 of them now. One of them was actually decent. It's that German one where they hand-painted all the stuff, and it's a roguelike game where you die a couple times and you start over, kind of like Hades. The other 2, one was like a terrible survival game, which is like a mobile version of Valheim Ark, but super simple. The other one was like this mech engineer game. I've in my email, I haven't even responded. I had offers for 2 more games, one of which is like a cyberpunk storytelling, side-scrolling, story-driven game. Another one is like this one where you have a zebra head or something. The game isn't even out yet, and it's like a top-down 2D pixelated game. It's like a shoot-'em-up where you have like a mutated guy with a zebra head on his shoulders or something. Completely out of like whack. I don't even understand. But it's like, I don't even have time to play the games I want to play, and I've got all these people sending me keys for games that are like, play our indie game, make a content about it, and hashtag and leave a review and let us know what you think. It's like, okay, maybe in 3 years I'll get around to it, It's like family drama game. Try to play with your kids, no loading screens of any kind. Get in touch with your inner kid or some abstract BS like that. Yeah. No, that's the thing. Like, once in a while, if my kids haven't touched the video game before I get home, like I think last week we did a couple times. I came home and they're like, hey, Dad, you want to play Mario Kart? I'm like, sure. Why not? I can sit down for half an hour and play Mario Kart, It's very funny that GTA San Andreas is for adults, but it's everyone's childhood. That's the thing is I used to be super judgmental about games like Grand Theft Auto. Now it's more like, okay, just don't let little kids play it. Like, I don't care if teenagers and adults play shit like that. It's like, it doesn't bother me anymore. Of course, I grew up in the generation that blamed the Matrix for the Columbine shooting. I grew up in the generation where, my parents were blaming violence in schools and violence in teens and kids on video games. So, it's like, you kind of have to let go of those things and realize it's a video game. It's not to be taken seriously. Although I do think age restrictions on certain games are probably a good idea. Tales of Symphonia. I don't think I ever owned that one. Sounds super familiar though. No, I was impressed. My son, my 11-year-old, last year, he actually played Breath of the Wild, beat it on his own, didn't ask for any help, which is rare because my kid, he likes racing games. He's not he doesn't, I mean, he builds on Minecraft, but they play on creative. So he actually went through and beat Breath of the Wild. I'm like, wow, you didn't need my help? He's like, no, okay, well. That's what your parents are for, to tell you those things are bad. Well, yeah, there you go, Geth. I guess if you do your job as a parent, you don't have to worry about your kids growing up thinking those things are acceptable, right? Yeah, Mahendra, the funny thing about that is I didn't bother watching the Matrix reboot because I don't hate myself, and I didn't want to subject myself to that crap. But the funny thing about it is, I know he's growing up. He's almost my height. It's embarrassing. Like he and he's borrowing my clothes now. Because, you know, I'm a small guy. Even when I work out, if I'm in shape, I still wear a men's small or even a medium sometimes. And like anything too tight on me, I just give it to him. Co-op RPG with fighting style. Okay, gameplay. You know, I think I tried showing him Ocarina of Time, and I'm pretty sure he said it looked boring or something. I can't remember. It's a massive magnet for explorer types of people. Well, that's the thing too, is I thought it would have been like too overwhelming for him. Like I would have imagined it would have been too much for him. Although he has said that he's not going to touch Tears of the Kingdom because he's seen some of the bosses that I've had to beat in that game, like the big 3-headed dragons and stuff. And that shit's not exactly the easiest thing out there. He asked if he could play Dark Souls 3. I'm like, sure. You want to try to play Dark Souls 3? Go for it, you know? When you're crying and you can't figure out how to beat the first level, you know, get back to me on that one. Oh, dude, I know. Ocarina of Time for me still might be my all-time favorite Legend of Zelda. Like, without question, I think it could be. I'm a huge fan of the original game. Huge fan of Link's Awakening. But I think Ocarina of Time might be the absolute best one. Although I remember Twilight Princess was actually pretty enjoyable. I only played through it one time, because that was actually in between. I bought it at the end of my GameCube's life, because they had it available for the next system, and I didn't buy the Wii, because I'm not going to own a system called a Wii. I'm like, screw that shit. So I bought Twilight Princess for my GameCube, and I had immediately gone from my GameCube to like the next version of the Xbox, and that was the last Nintendo I bought until my kid was like 5. Then I bought him his Switch. Okay. Dude, the Acolyte's at 15% on the audience score. That is freaking unbelievable. No, I mean, it's believable, don't get me wrong. Ah, it's at 14%. Oh my god. Why do I have to enable? I'm not going to enable ads. I hate Rotten Tomatoes sometimes. They know I'm using an ad blocker, so they'll do this thing where if I go there through a link, see, that's what this is the shit they pulled me. Wind Waker was decent, but very, very different. Yeah, it's really funny because Wind Waker I was not a huge fan of at the time. And after playing it and thinking back, I'm like, that game was actually a lot better than I remembered it being. Oh, dude, I haven't watched Gundam in forever. I need to catch up on some of his videos. But yeah, Wind Waker was a very good game. It just, I just didn't get into it at the time. It doesn't have Hyrule? Yeah. All right, let's go back to rather than read articles on the Acolyte, let's just shit on it. Let's just read it through. Not Fandom Pulse. Fandom Pulse is shut down. Rotten Tomatoes. Old habits die hard. All right. You son of a bitch. No, I'm supposed to be able to go to Rotten Tomatoes with a new tab and not have them yell at me about my ad blocker. I'm not turning off my ad blocker for you guys. Let me see. There's another one, Inside Out 2. Okay. I, honest to God, this is a moral dilemma for me. Because I'm of the opinion that Disney needs to learn the hard way how to freaking figure their shit out and get back to making good movies. That being said, if I don't want Disney to make good movies anymore, I could just tell them, okay, fine, Disney just needs to implode and go out of business, and I don't care what happens. The reality is, if I don't want them to go out of business, but I want them to change their ways, and Inside Out 2 is good, technically I should go to the theater and see it. My kids wanted to see it. My kids really liked the first one. I'm hearing that the second one's great. No weird messaging in it. All the fans are loving it. It's making money at the box office. If we don't tell Disney or these companies like that with our money, this is the kind of content we want, stop making the other crap, then how do they learn? You know, if we don't go see anything, two things will happen. They'll stay afloat, but they'll just keep making shit, or they'll take the money from the good movie that they made and use it to prop up the bad movies. You know, I realize that those are a couple of options. Wii U version's best version. Yeah, I never had the Wii U. Why does everyone look around Tomatoes but know it's useless? No, Disney needs to not remake anything. Tarzan would be funny, though. Well, let's try IMDb. Hang on a second. I'm gonna drag this over here because I don't know which sites are gonna pop up with my personal information. I love it when I'm either trying to record a video or like do a live stream, and it'll pop up like my name in the top right corner with my email addresses. Like, thank you for doxing me. I appreciate it. Let's see. The Acolyte. Here we go on IMDb. No, my kids are aware that Disney's in a rut. My kids are aware enough of this. I'm not trying to ruin. We need less woke movies like Inside Out. Right, Purple Sky, how are you doing? But at the same time, if we don't support the movies that aren't woke and aren't pushing a shitty message for our kids, what's the point of complaining about it? If I want them to go out of business, fine. That makes sense. If I want them to go out of business and say, screw Disney, they just need to burn in flames, then okay, we just don't go see anything that they make. That's the easy solution. If we want them to change, this is like if you're cutting somebody out of your life and you don't care if their life ends tomorrow, that's fine. If you're at that point with them, you've made your peace with it, that's cool. But if you want that person to go get help, get better, and get their life back on track, that's the situation a lot of people are in with Disney, with Pixar, with Inside Out 2. If you truly believe that Disney can be saved or can be fixed or can adjust their marketing and what they're putting in their movies, then you kind of have to go see the movie. Oh, Oblivion. So as kids' movies go, Inside Out is a very good movie. The first one, it's a very good movie. As far as the way that they handle the emotions of the child, talk with the family stuff in the movie, there's a couple parts that they could have done differently. I think would have been better served. But as movies go, especially with Pixar and Disney being what they are these days, Inside Out is a very good movie. Maybe they'll add a silent message. Yeah, I don't know. Wait. Young Ya is on Inside Out 2. Oh my god, you're right. He's the video game character that Riley has a crush on. Shit, I forgot about that. Oh my god. You're wearing a Young Ya shirt right now. Voice acting leaves something to be desired. I used to watch Young Ya. A lot of his videos. From what I've seen, based on general opinion, a lot of other YouTubers and people on Twitter have of Young Ya. Again, I don't care about his politics. I just feel like a lot of people consider him more of an industry shill. And the fact that he's done the voice acting and is so terrible at it, I kind of agree. I don't have any ill will towards the guy. I think his voice acting is terrible. But that's whatever. Okay. So IMDb rating, 3.5 out of 10. Down 2 in popularity, okay? Out of 51,000 ratings. So, since we weren't going to bother with Rotten Tomatoes, how about IMDb? You think Young Ya got absorbed in their culture? Maybe. Yeah, okay, so Mahendra, you tell me. I don't have a problem with people who cover technology and video games from the new release, DLC, patch problems, whatever side of things. If you never want to cover like pop culture or culture war stuff like Sweet Baby Inc. and DEI consultancy agencies and all the crap going on there, fine. It would be the same as if you didn't want to talk about what Ubisoft has done with the sexual harassment claims or crunch or, you know, workplace issues or whatever. If that stuff's too icky for your channel, that's fine. But if I know Yongya has covered the stuff about Blizzard and their workplace environment, so it's like if he's going to cover that stuff, he kind of is obligated to cover the Sweet Baby Inc. Black Girl Gamers topics too. And the fact that he hasn't is very telling, if that makes sense. Because he was hired in Yuzuka 8 as an Asian guy. Yeah. Yeah, what's with that Act Man guy? Because I had never watched him. And then all of a sudden it blew up between him and Az, heel versus babyface. Now, I'm not even going to get into the whole heel versus babyface, Eric July, Ethan Van Sciver, Comicsgate, Rippaverse crap. I'm just talking about like a YouTube creator versus creator. I don't know what the hell is going on between Act Man and Az and all that. So I used to watch Young Yeah just because, just like any other non-super political content creator, they covered a lot of topics about games and the issues with them, the industry, or, you know, other kind of stuff. DW, who are you talking about? Act Man or Young Yeah? You all done? Okay, I'll wrap up here in a few minutes. Ackman has the showman skills, but yeah, they got into his kerfuffle with Az. Okay. So you posted a comment on his video calling it out. He tore down Kotaku before moving to LA. My guess is someone told him to tone it down. Yeah, again, I've never watched Ackman, so I'm not sure. I don't have a good frame of reference for it. I do know that I haven't watched Young Yeah since I stopped watching him before the whole thing with him and Yakuza. Like, that was funny, don't get me wrong. I'm surprised. I memed on him at the time on Twitter. I'm pretty sure I might be blocked by him on Twitter. Oh no, Oblivion, you're not. It's only 11 o'clock my time, I think. Yeah, it's 11:01 right now. It's not like you're keeping me up late. Don't worry about that. It's just the wife and I were just gonna like hang out, watch some TV or whatever. And she works from home. Like I told you guys, we do the whole homeschooled thing. I have my full-time job. She homeschools them, takes care of them. We were doing sports, which thank God baseball season's over for a while. My kids are playing baseball this fall, but it's like a 6-week thing where it's just more for like fun or whatever. But she works in the evenings from home. So while I'm recording videos and stuff, she's in the other room working on her Etsy stuff. So, okay, I need to subscribe to Endymion because every time I'm looking at my analytics on YouTube, when I'm checking the studio stuff, talking about like content creators that my viewers watch, people that are similar to me, he always pops up, and I always see him on Twitter. Like, I'm usually retweeting or interacting with him on Twitter. I just have never actually watched a single video from Endymion, so I need to add him into my rotation. If Young Yeah covered Sushi Squad game, he won't mention Sweet Baby. Okay. Yeah, that's a good indication. Legacy Killer, I think they're fine and not be up in arms about Young. I'm fine with Ackman. I think there's some kind of misunderstanding. Yeah, Geth, I mean, who knows? I've seen so many weird things go on between creators, between YouTubers or personalities. This is why, okay. I can't remember who was asking me. I think it might have been, I don't know if it's anybody in the chat right now. I will. I'll get on there and subscribe to it. Because during the course of my workday, I've got the same freaking routine every day. I usually have a majority of the YouTubers that I watch the videos of for the first half of my day. And then once I've watched enough or listened to enough of the same crap, it's getting repetitive, then I'll just listen to music for like the last couple hours, collect my thoughts, come home, do whatever I have to do here, cook the dinner, help my wife with the kids, clean up, all this stuff, get them to bed, and then try to piece together in my brain of all this stuff that I've absorbed, what's worth talking about, you know? So it's nice to have other options. America defeated Pakistan in cricket. You know, I'm surprised Americans even play cricket, if I'm being honest. My wife and I got our family signed up at the YMCA, which is apparently somebody on Discord asked me, what the hell's YMCA? I'm like, well, it's a gym, fitness center, community center. It's basically like all those things in one, so you can do activities, do classes, work out, stuff for your kids to do. They have PE, physical education, that kind of stuff. And so we have that going on now, but like, I don't even remember where we were going with that. Oh, but they have like pickleball, like tennis, but with smaller paddles, racquetball, all that kind of stuff. And that is something that cracks me up, because pickleball, where I'm at, because my town has so many old people, is like the sport that everybody plays. Everybody's playing pickleball. I'm like, next we're gonna see everyone playing like cricket or lacrosse, you know, with the big hoops and stuff. Hey, Blu-ray, how's it going? Yeah, Elon, like I've said before, I don't trust Elon as far as I can throw him, but I enjoy the memes. I enjoy the outcrying and anger from people who hate him. So for me, I'm just like, all right. It's kind of like how I'm with Grums, you know? I have no animosity towards Grums. I think he positively has done some decent stuff. I think there's a lot of things that he's done that are maybe underhanded or maybe not above board, or how, you know, could be done better. But you know, nobody's perfect. And so as long as I don't see anybody out there screwing anybody over or lying and cheating, it's like, hey, no one's perfect. We're all human. I appreciate all the people that are in the space that are making positive steps towards improving things across the board. Oh yeah, old Twitter was terrible. The one thing I will say, this is what I will say about Twitter under Elon versus now, or sorry, versus before Elon. I never got suspended before Elon. Never. I never got suspended on the original Twitter. I had like a 24-hour timeout kind of thing where I couldn't post for 24 hours. After Elon took over, I verified one of my accounts, and the other account got banned over a joke, which was an obvious sarcastic joke. They said it was promoting violence. I lost that account. It was suspended. I appealed it like 100 times. I never got it back. Then my verified account, the same thing happened. I was suspended for 19 days. They told me it was permanent, and I appealed so many times that they eventually gave it back to me. I now have both my accounts back, but it took tens or if not 100 hours of my time, emails. I was even trying to find a phone number for Twitter to call somebody to harass them and be like, this is bullshit. I'm paying for Twitter. You guys suspended me over a meme. This isn't cool, right? That never happened before Elon. So while Twitter overall is improved, again, I'm going to be honest, I don't think that everything is better just because Elon owns it now, you know? Yeah, I mean, old Twitter had more censorship, obviously. But the thing was, like I said, I don't operate any differently than I did before, and I never got suspended before Elon. So you went on the binge upvote spree? What is that? Yeah, I'm not paying attention to cricket. It's not a sport that I follow. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not obsessed with Elon, and I don't hate him. I'm indifferent. I think most people need to get to that point where you don't treat anybody with hatred or obsession. So, prime example, this guy right here. Okay, if you want to talk about a journalist who is actually a real journalist, guy who actually writes good articles, you know. If YouTube was bought by Elon, I don't know about that. I'm not sure how I'd feel about that. Then you delete your old tweets. Oof. Yeah, I think Blu-ray. I think normies are finally starting to realize that there's more to it than just crazy conspiracy theorists. You know. Seen some glaring exposés on Elon, but it just confirms my theory that to be rich, you have to be born into it mostly. Yeah, there's a few self-made millionaires, but Elon took, money and turned it into more money. It's kind of like Bill Gates. Bill Gates, who's a complete scumbag, he took family money, stole somebody else's idea, and then turned it into like multi-billion-dollar money. Oh, likes for everyone you follow, subscribe to. I got you, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't have my Twitter private anymore because, like, for me personally, it's like if I'm going to use it as part of my YouTube channel, use it for, like, growing my reach and stuff, I kind of have to interact. I don't block anybody. That's the thing. You don't see people in my position blocking anyone because it's like, look, unless the person's a complete, like, psychopath, then I might consider blocking them. But the thing about blocking somebody who's acting deranged, you don't know what they're posting behind your back if you block them. So let's say they find information about you, about your personal life or your family, your kids or whatever. That's kind of good information to have. So blocking people is not always a smart idea. Yeah, Bill Gates was a complete scumbag. So I say was, but he still is. But yeah, so talking about like journalists and stuff, this guy here, Eric Kane, if you ever get a chance to like read some of the articles on Forbes. So Forbes had this thing come out. This article on Inside Out 2 was written by Eric Kane, okay? Eric Kane wrote this article for Forbes about the Acolyte, said it was the most disappointing Star Wars episode ever made. Now, he was talking about for any show. He has destroyed the Acolyte. He destroyed Rings of Power. He praised Inside Out 2 for being good as far as like a good family movie. And this man is not a conservative. He's not a right-winger. He's not a Trump fan. He's actually criticized some of the articles from that Park Place going after Paul Tassi, who's a co-worker of Eric Kane's, for, some of the Catholic stuff that John Trent puts in the bottom half of his article. And look, I'm not Catholic. I was raised Protestant. But I get it. John Trent's Catholic, and so he puts a lot of his personal religious beliefs into his articles. There's nothing stopping him from doing that. If you don't like it, you don't have to read the article. But, other than criticizing him for that, Eric Kane, again, is one of these guys who actually seems to be the only decent journalist left. And with all the Alyssa Mercantes and the Ash Parishes out there and Nick Calandras and Paul Tassis and all the rest of them, I wish more people who you don't have to be like lockstep in agreement with, on politics, on religion, on every moral issue in society, on everything else, you can still look at it and say, yeah, 90% of the time we're going to agree on a lot of these things, whether it's entertainment or, what's going on in the world. Is there any good non-activist? So Eric Kane over at Forbes is one of the only good non-activist journalists that I've ever discovered. Tim Sweeney responding to Smash. I did not see that. I'll have to take a look. Oh yeah, Geth, 100%. I don't block anybody. I just don't. My block list might have like 3 people, and I'm pretty sure that they were just like bot spam accounts. In fact, let me check real quick here. I'll have to see that Tim Sweeney thing. Yeah, we were talking about the whole YouTube, like the Yang Yeah versus Actman, or Actman versus Az versus Rippaverse, all that crap. And honestly, like a lot of people asked me about, if I was going to try to be on somebody else's stream, like Hypnotic, which again, I don't know Hypnotic. I've never interacted with him. I think he's honestly too big of a deal for somebody with my channel size at this point, which is fine. I don't want to ride somebody else's coattails. If I get invited on a show, I'd be more than happy to go on. But again, we have this time zone difference. Everybody else streams way earlier in the evening than I can even get on. So as far as like, connecting with other YouTube creators and everything else, probably not something that's going to happen in the near future, unfortunately. But that being said, it's like, I'm not going to say no if somebody invites me on. I'm totally grateful for that. It's just the reality that I've seen a lot of people who are either just taking advantage of somebody else's good fortune when it comes to their fame or notoriety, or on the flip side, they become buddies with somebody because of the notoriety, and shit just goes south really fast because, you have that whole bad blood situation where you have conflict and drama behind the scenes, and I've just seen way too many of these YouTube social media cliques where you have all these people that on the surface, on the outside, you think they're all friends, And then all of a sudden you've got one of these Comicsgate Civil War things going on where you've got a couple dozen different YouTube creators and comic book artists that are all at each other's throat all frickin' day long, you know? You know, I'm subscribed to Side Scrollers. I never watch their stuff. I really need to... I'm just lazy with incorporating people's videos into my stuff that I watch in the course of my day. What was I looking for? Oh, my block list. Where the hell's my block list at on Twitter? How do I even find that? Hang on a second. Where is my profile? Settings. Block list has got to be somewhere in my settings, right? I'm looking at this on my upright monitor, and I'm having a really hard time. Settings, here we go. Privacy. Mute and block. Blocked accounts. All right, so I have a crypto account on here, a fake account for the quartering, another, I don't know what this is, another spam account, somebody who was just going through and like posting, I can't remember if it was like porn or something on my replies. Yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 accounts total blocked, and most of them are spam accounts. Yeah, I do not do the whole blocking people on Twitter thing. Rev says Dezu is good. You know, I've heard of that one. Don't trust anyone from the internet? Yeah, that's always good advice. Because they mostly cover anime or Japanese games. Hero High and Rev Dezu are great if you want to follow them. Yeah, I'll have to take a look. You guys can always in the community tab on YouTube, if I post something about a stream or a video or whatever, you can always reply with the recommendations if you want. I tend to check most of the replies there. Sometimes the replies to videos, if I have a video that does really well and it gets like 300-400 comments, over the course of a couple days, I try to skim through, but sometimes it just gets to be where I just can't keep track of all of them, unfortunately. I feel bad too, because I know a lot of people try to like read every one of their comments, and it's like, I wish I could. It's just so much freaking time and energy. And then I get to those ones where I get those people who, like that Raul guy, and I'm like, man left 3 comments on one video that I made like 2 weeks ago. And like, what the hell, dude? That is true. Community posts are very, very iffy on YouTube. They don't always show up. All right, guys, I'm probably going to cut it right here. We didn't go through all the topics that I was thinking and talking about, but honestly, I prefer where we just kind of sit and have a conversation. That's more my speed, makes me more comfortable, to be honest. Because then I don't feel like I have to entertain you guys. I feel like I can actually just have a conversation with you, which is great. Hey, Ryan, how's it going? YouTube has its flaws. YouTube has its issues. But at the same time, YouTube has done a lot of amazing things for a lot of people, and I'm just thrilled that we're all here together, guys. To be honest, that's a big thing for me. And before you go, Mahendra, just so everybody knows, next Monday we're going to be doing my birthday stream. It's actually my birthday. My wife and I have the same birthday. I don't know if she'll pop in or not on here. I'll have to wait and see how she's feeling about that. But yeah, so next Monday night's stream is going to be my birthday stream. And I'm not telling you guys how old I am. But we're going to be doing Elden Ring DLC on Thursday. We are going to... Do I block links in chat? I don't know, man. It shouldn't if I have CloudBot set up properly, but I'll check before my next stream and see if I can disable that or not. Dr. Disaster exploded on YouTube. The guy had 5,000 in February, is now on 36. Yeah, dude, honestly, if I had more time and energy to post multiple videos in the course of the day, I'd probably be at 10,000 right now. I've watched channels who were doing the same thing as me that were growing at the same pace that have just doubled or tripled my numbers. And I have to not be jealous. I have to not beat myself up because, I mean, the reality is, I don't know what those people have for their home life. I don't know what they do for a living. My bills are getting paid. My family's fed. We have a roof over our house. I'm not going to be homeless. I mean, I know One of my mods, Hunter, who I know pretty well, I don't know right now if he's homeless or what, if he's living out of his car. I know that he was going through some shit. Maki Sky, who's not here, was just saying during my last stream that he's going to be homeless at the end of the month because his family's kicking him out. It's like, I have a lot to be grateful for. So the last thing I want to do is get caught up worrying about some other YouTube accounts, you know, subscriber total or their membership or however much they make in super chats. I just need to stay focused and appreciative for the fact that you guys are all here and that we're still growing and that we're just doing our thing and just taking it one day at a time, you know? Yeah, Blithian, of course. Thanks for hanging out, dude. It's always great to see a lot of the same people in here, you know? Yeah, it'll be my birthday next Monday. I'll make sure to post about it on the community tab. Again, it doesn't always update everybody on the community tab, of course. Yeah, we were same day, 1 year apart. Well, I appreciate that, Ryan. Yeah, I know. And the thing is, I try to not get like uber political on these topics. I know a lot of the politics and culture and gaming and entertainment, they overlap. And I've had the last video I did, I had a few people complain about my use of the terms Marxism and neo-communism and stuff. It's like, guys, not everything is a right-wing grift. Some things you have to call like they are, and sometimes terms get overused. It's like, I can't please everybody. I can't make everybody happy. I have to be myself. And if you find it relatable, that's great. And if you find me annoying, I understand. If I had to listen to myself talk for hours on end, I'd probably find myself annoying too. So keep your armaments clean and ready and see if your friends need help with welding. Yeah, no, as far as my armaments go, my armaments in real life, I haven't even ever taken to the range. I feel so bad because I spent too much money over the last couple of years when my state started changing a lot of the 2A laws about what kind of pew-pew you can and can't own or accessorize or build. And so I rushed out and assembled a couple of rifles that I've had combined for the last couple of years and never even taken to a range because it's just such a massive inconvenience. So, oh yeah, Blu-ray. That's the thing is I have no intention on being anything but me. So when I watch, okay, Hypnotic is the prime example. And this is not throwing shade at Hypnotic. I know a lot of you guys are fans of his and you watch him. That's great. I'm saying good for him. This is a kudos to Hypnotic. He has a certain style. And I've watched some of his live streams. I watch some of his videos. I will never be an entertainer on the same level as Hypnotic. And that's okay. As long as everyone is okay watching different content creators for different reasons and different people that they enjoy, I don't need to be Hypnotic. Does it work better for him? Possibly. I mean, his channel has been blowing up massively. But, you know, I'm not going to hold that against him. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Smash. I'm happy for even the big guys like Yellow Flash, who's still killing it. You know, I can't allow myself to be bitter and jealous because somebody else puts more effort or more energy or more time or just flat out has a more captivating presence. You know, that's something that everybody has to work on in their own time. So the hardest part that I think about whether it's collaborating with somebody or just sitting in the back, like I'm a nobody, okay? So here's the way I look at it. When Alyssa Mercante made that hit list of YouTubers and I was like smack dab in the middle of it, right? People made these little meme videos and stuff and they were really funny and people have been on each other's shows. I'm like the odd man out of that list because I'm the one that I haven't been reached out to by Roger Athey, I think is the one that reached out to me about being on his show Reality Based, which was really nice of him. I'm just like, dude, I'm on at like 9:30 at night, so there's no way that we could probably make this work. But basically, like nobody else even like knows who I am, and that's okay because I've got a tiny channel. But I just feel like there's a certain group of people that they're growing faster, and they're all aware of each other, and I'm kind of like sitting over here on the outside of the bubble, you know. And honestly, I'm okay with it. It's just, it makes it really funny when people ask me, oh, do you know Hypnotic? No. Hypnotic's got 400 viewers plus a live stream. So I don't think he even knows I exist, to be honest. So Dread and I have talked in DMs. I really like Dread. Really nice guy. Super, super cool, down-to-earth guy. Is Ryan pretty crazy? I've never watched his stuff. Let's see. Yeah, no, Dread Roberts, super nice guy. So maybe we'll make that happen. He was talking about moving with his family to Korea or Japan or something. So I don't know about, I don't know. We'll see. Too late in your calendar. Well, Oblivion, I'll make sure to tell everybody. I know, I'm gonna go to bed, don't worry. Yeah, Blu-ray, I'm not worried about it. I'm like I said, when my channel wasn't growing as fast as everybody else is, I got a little bitter and was like, oh, what am I doing wrong? It's like, you know what? It's nothing that anybody's doing wrong. Certain days, I have a video that gets a couple thousand views, and my second to last video got 50,000. You know, we should all move to Japan. We can't all move to Japan, okay? So one thing I've heard about Europe, because Europe is being overrun left and right by a lot of the immigrants, sounds like Spain is still pretty nice. Sounds like Spain is like Italy, but cheaper, friendlier people, you know, more property. I don't know, Japan would be cool, but I think I could probably get along better with the Spaniards and the Italians. I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, guys, I have to go to bed. So Thursday, we're going to be back with Elden Ring DLC. I might do Thursday and Friday if I can get videos made in the meantime. I don't know. It's going to be really weird. I have to get videos recorded before I live stream, which gives me like a 10-minute window after my kids go to bed to get a video recorded and then hit go live. So, all right, Blithian, if you say so. It's a tiny little island, but we'll see. All right, later, guys. I'm going to bed. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Fear and hunger, I'll add it to the list. Okay, Poland. Long as there's no nuclear warheads going off nearby, I'll try Poland. They're pretty based over there. Yeah, tiny boat, see? We're gonna need a bigger boat. Of course, Ryan, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. I have no idea what that translates as, but I'm just gonna leave it right there and say, all right, whatever you said, I'll agree to it.